Hello and welcome to Yoga with Alexandra. I'm Alexandra, aka Flower Yogi. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. We'll be doing a hip opening sequence. So if you have a block or a blanket, you can have those handy. Totally optional, but might help with some of the poses. And we'll get started in a seat. So finding a comfortable cross-legged position. If you want, you can kind of lift the hips a little bit with a prop. I like to roll the edge of a blanket and just slide it underneath the hips. Just give yourself a little bit of a lift here. And then we'll close the eyes, bringing the hands to the tops of the knees. Index finger to thumb in a chin mudra. Finding that length of the spine as we tap into the breath. As you inhale, feel the belly rise and expand, chest expands. And as you exhale, chest softens, belly softens. As you breathe here, with that expansive inhale, try to really push out the low belly. Feel the pelvis opening up. And exhale, sinking in towards your tailbone, towards the belly button, just getting a little heavier. Finding that softness, that ease in the body. Taking a few more breaths here. Letting go of the day so far. Beautiful. We'll bring the tops of the hands to the knees and just finding a little rotation, pulling the belly forward and around, and then rounding slightly through the spine. So focus on your sits bones, the points in contact with the mat or the floor, while also bringing your awareness to that openness through the pelvis, the rotation through the hips. Just moving as slowly as you need to here. And then the next time the belly comes forward, we'll reverse the circle. Notice any movements in the head or the neck that feel good here. This practice is all about finding ease and mobility in our joints, our places that might hold a little extra tension. So starting to soften there. We'll come back to center, back to stillness, head over heart over pelvis. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up, go long through the side body. Palms kiss together overhead. And exhale, hands come down to your heart. Just taking a moment to honor yourself, honor this practice. And we'll get started opening the eyes. You can shift that blanket back out to the side and then coming onto all fours. Knees underneath the hips or even a little bit wider. Palms underneath the shoulders. And then finding our cat and cow just for a few rounds. Inhaling, dropping the belly, look forward. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Just waking up the back body. Maybe you shift the hips side to side, find a little movement off the tracks here. Could be drawing the hips in circles, feel any pops or cracks. Hopefully not actual cracks, but just some movement of our joint fluids and fascia. Beautiful. Come back to center. Bring the toes together, knees nice and wide. And then we'll bring our right hand underneath the face. Inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, thread the needle. Left arm underneath that right shoulder, hand on the right side next to the face or out, reaching towards that left top corner of the mat. And while we're also twisting through the torso here, we're keeping those hips wide and lifted. So bring your awareness to the hips. Notice any difference in sensation between the right and the left side. And keep breathing into the belly here, really expanding as you inhale. And softening, getting a little heavier as you exhale. And we'll start to walk that right hand next to the face, pressing into the palm. Inhale, reach up with the left hand, open up. And exhale, bringing that left hand down to replace the right. Knees stay where they are, left hand at center. Inhale, right arm reaches up, big twist. Exhale, thread the needle, coming down onto that right ear. You can keep the left hand next to the face or send it long towards that top right corner of the mat. Again, notice any shifts of sensations in your hips. Feel that nice twist of the spine. Taking a deep breath in, long breath out. And we'll start to walk that left hand back next to the face. Inhale, opening up right arm towards the sky. Exhale, bringing it back down. Plant the hands. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. And then we'll swing the legs to the side. Really nice. We'll come to sit centered on the mat so that we can open the legs nice and wide. So finding your maximum here. We don't need to, go cranking ourselves deeper than we need to go. This is where the blanket can be really handy. Just sliding the edge of that underneath the edge of the seat. It'll lift the hips a little bit more, making it easier to sit up a little taller. Really nice. And then, again, bring the feet as wide as feels comfortable. And then we'll start to just turn the toes down towards the floor, towards the mat. So we're staying lifted in our torso and just feeling that subtle rotation. Again, don't go beyond what feels comfortable. This might be extra sensitive if you have any knee issues, but we want to protect the knees by moving the whole leg, rotating the hips together. So what that looks like is we're just turning the toes down towards the floor. And you'll feel that rotation in the hips if you want to bring the hands to the hips here, just feeling that movement. Take a couple more, just in and out. Good. Really nice. And then we'll relax the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. nice and long through the side body. Press into the heels, active through the legs here. And then we'll hinge forward with the hips. And then bringing the hands down when you can't keep that flat back anymore. Just start to round in. An option here, if you want a little more intensity in that hip stretch, we'll do what we did before and just start to bring the toes a little closer to the floor. Just turning the foot, the sole of the foot down to the floor of the mat. Another option, if you can reach the toes, grabbing the big toes with the peace fingers, and then gently, very gently, pulling them a little bit closer to the mat. Wherever you are, stay with your breath. Just feeling those sensations in the hips and the legs. Stay with your breath. Take another deep breath in for 3, 2, 1, and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release the bind if you have grip on the toes, and then we'll all bring our hands under the shoulders as we start to press and roll our way back up to a seat. Lifting the spine, really nice. We'll grab the backs of the thighs, backs of the knees, and then start to bend at the legs. Lovely. Grab your block, and then we'll come back to all fours. You can have your blanket kind of handy at the side of the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We'll bring that right leg long, just rocking forward and back. And then inhale, lift the heel. Exhale, bend the knee, bring it forward, low lunge. Centering the foot between the hands. And just sinking in to those hips. Look forward, long spine. And on the exhale, pulling back, straightening through the right foot, right leg. Half splits. You can point and flex the foot here. And then on an inhale, rolling back onto the right foot, we'll curl the back toes under, lifting the knee. Plant the left hand, inhale, open up. Big twist. And exhale, planting that right hand down. Listening carefully, we'll turn that back foot, preparing for warrior one as we lift the hands, lift the chest, reaching up towards the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, open warrior two. If you need to adjust the legs, you can. We want that front knee over the front ankle. Fingers pulling apart. Deep breath in. Exhale, get a little lower in the hips and the legs. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, over, up, and back. Peaceful warrior. Feel that length through the side body. Deep breath in here. Exhale, elbow to knee. Opening up, extended side angle. Left arm towards the sky. And on your exhale, plant the hands, frame the foot, step it back, high plank. Press away from the mat. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knees, the chest, the forehead or chin. Inhale, sliding forward, Cobra Bhujangasana. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, pressing your way back up to a tabletop. And then we'll bring our left leg long behind, pressing into that heel, rock forward and back a couple times. And then inhale, lift the heel. Exhale, bend the knee, bring it forward, plant the foot, and we find our low lunge. So checking in on this side, lower the hips, look forward, long spine. Exhale, pulling back, straighten that left leg. Melting the heart, the head towards the knee. Point and flex the foot if you would like. And on your inhale, rolling back onto that left foot. Plant the right hand. Inhale, lift up through the right knee. Lift the left hand, big twist. And exhale, plant the hand, pivot on the right foot. We set up for warrior one as we inhale, rise all the way. Reach up towards the sky. Exhale, open warrior two. Adjust the feet if you need to. Legs nice and wide. Feel the middle fingers pulling apart in opposite directions. Open through the chest. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reach up and back. Peaceful warrior. Stay low in the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee, extended side angle, open up right arm towards the sky. Deep inhale. And exhale, cartwheel it down, frame the foot, step it back, high plank, inhale, press away from the mat. As you exhale, see if you can lower one line all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, lift the chest. Exhale, folding down. This time, inhale, press it up to a tabletop. And then we'll bring the toes together, knees nice and wide, send it back, child's pose. Hips to your heels. Melt the heart down. Rolling the forehead side to side. Just massaging the brow bone. And coming to center, to stillness. Taking a deep breath in, feel the belly press into the thighs, feel that expanse through the low back, through the pelvis. And exhaling, just softening, getting a little heavier through the torso. And start to wiggle the fingers, pressing into the palms as you inhale, coming back to your tabletop. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. And then we'll bring that right foot forward into our low lunge. If you want, you can walk that left knee back. Also an opportunity to slide a blanket underneath that back knee or double up your mat for a little extra support here. And then we'll start to walk that right foot a little wider towards the right edge of the mat. You can bring the right hand on the inside of the foot. And then just sinking down into the hips. Taking a moment here. You can lift the gaze, lift the chest. So we have that long line from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Maybe you come up on the fingertips. If you have a block and you'd like to kind of lift up a little bit, you can bring the block underneath the hands. Wherever you are, close the eyes and just stay with the breath as you visualize a space around that left hip flexor. We'll take one more deep breath in here. Long sigh out. And then preparing for pigeon pose, we'll walk the right foot over towards the left side of the mat, bringing the knee down. Really nice. If you cannot practice in this way, you can also come to your backs, finding a figure 4 in the legs, and then hugging the leg into the chest. If you're in pigeon, we will stay lifted here for a moment, lifting the chest, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, start to melt the forearms or the hands down. Again, option to slide a block here underneath the arms, or you can slide a blanket under the hips if you feel you're kind of leaning too much over to that right side. We really want to be centered with our navel in line with the pelvis. So wherever you settle in here, wherever this pose finds you, just invite a few moments of stillness, releasing through the outside of that right hip. Notice where you might be clinging with the muscles of the legs or the back, and just let go. Get heavy here. Taking a few more rounds of breath. And maintaining that softness as we start to find a little movement in the arms and the torso, planting the hands, and walking our way back up. If you're on your backs, just gently release those legs. And then from our regular pigeon, we'll walk that left knee forward and slide the right knee back into our tabletop. Take a little movement here, shifting the hips side to side, finding a cat and cow, whatever movement feels right. And coming back to our tabletop, we'll bring the left foot forward, walk that right knee back. If you need a little extra support under the knee with a blanket or the mat doubled up, please do so. So we'll all come here for our low lunge to our lizard variation, walking the left foot nice and wide, hands on the inside of the leg, and then finding that lift in the chest. If you need to come up onto your fingertips or with a block under the hands, you can. Really just focusing on that sinking of the hips, that opening through the pelvis. Try to relax the muscles of the legs as much as you can. Taking a deep breath in, long sigh out. And then we'll start to move into our pigeon, walking that left foot over towards the right edge of the mat. If you're on your back, just reverse the grip, reverse the leg over the knee. And then finding a lift in your chest. From our pigeon, we'll start to melt the heart down. Again, checking in with the hips. If you're kind of leaning really heavily over towards that left side, just try to come back through center. Maybe slide a blanket or a block under this bent leg, bent hip, or side of the bent leg. And then melting the head, the heart, whatever feels best, down towards the mat. Pigeon is like the ultimate release pose for the hips, in my opinion. So really just focusing your energy on that hip flexor, that heaviness through the low body. Taking a few deep rounds of breath here. Taking one more deep breath in and the long sigh out. When you're ready, start to press into the hands. If you're on your back, uncross the legs. And from our pigeon, walking that right knee forward, slide the left leg back in space. And then coming to sit at the center of your mat. Grab the backs of the thighs and just lower all the way to our backs. Give yourself a nice squeeze here. Palms to kneecaps. And just draw some circles. Feeling that nice massage of the low back. Going in both directions. Maybe bringing the knees nice and wide and together. And coming back to center, we'll bring the feet back to the mat. Feet as wide as the mat. Just release into this constructive rest. You can pick up the tailbone, lower it back down. Taking a deep breath in, fill the belly up. And exhale, let it go. You can stay here or extend the legs out long for Shavasana. Bring the hands to your sides, palms open up towards the sky. Thank you for taking the time to practice, to release tension in your body, in your mind. We'll close with 3 deep breaths in and out, filling up. Inhale, belly expands, chest expands. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Last breath in. And exhale, let it go. Thank you for joining me on the mat today. You can stay here and rest or continue on. We'll bring the hands together at the heart, lifting the thumb knuckles towards the third eye, honoring yourself, your body, and your practice. Have a great day.